No, it's great for about half hour, but once you've seen a cock in pickle being pickled for 5 floors, I ain't gonna lie, I've had enough.
Down the rabbit hole.
So, hello, welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole with Red Hot Riot. This is our podcast, and we wanted to say hello in audio and video form. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, probably. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out after we've done the recording whether we release this or not. So, what are we doing? What are we doing, Ricky?
Hang on. Well, no, you've pinned it on me, Dan, but you have absolutely ran with this, and I'm relying on you being... Because, well, you built a website, and from that I was like, well, he knows what he's doing with computers, doesn't he? So let's do a podcast. And that was as far as my idea went. And you were like, yeah. And so here we are. We've got the intro where it just says "hole" over and over. Scott looks like he's filming on a Kodak. Fucking
you look like you're filming on
camera.
a Kodak because my internet's not very good. So you look as good as I look.
Oh, that's probably what it is. I expect the actual video will be all right. But no, what are we going to do? So this is hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to do a weekly podcast every Tuesday. As long as Dan doesn't mess about. He's going to have them out edited and all that for Tuesdays. Who knows the time?
Is that why you didn't ask me to do it? Because we haven't got enough calendars?
We didn't ask Scott to do it because it'll be Tuesday next year.
And we'll probably get 2 episodes done and then that'll be it.
Hey, it's quality over quantity.
Say that to our TikTok.
We're going to have guests as well. Once a month is the plan. That's it, I guess. But for this first one, we were kind of we thought, well, Daniel's back, so this can be the Dan the Rabbit
Show.
Dan the Rabbit Hole.
Dan the Rabbit Hole. That was a long-standing joke for so long. That was brilliant.
Daniel's Rabbit Hole.
Every time you used to say
Scott
that,
ruined that song for me. There's so many times I just couldn't sing it because Scott I'd look at him and he'd start laughing and make me think Daniel's Rabbit Hole.
That's why you had to drop it from the set.
Yeah.
How
are you, Scott?
I'm good, mate. I'm good, yeah.
Good Christmas?
Yeah, it was a nice Christmas, really, yeah. Spending time with the people who adopted me, basically. So I've been adopted at the ripe old age of 28. But yeah, no, it was good. Went up to Edinburgh, did all the sights around Edinburgh.
You did. It's nice, isn't it?
It is lovely up there, to be fair. You went up there. When did you get there, Rick? You went up there like a while ago.
I went up there last year. Well, 2022 now, isn't it? So 2 years technically. No, I went out for Christmas time, 2022. It's really nice. Yeah, went into a few rock bars up there. Frankenstein's bar was a favourite. You're not allowed?
I'm not allowed.
Have you been banned?
Why?
Yep. Well, the first time,
like when you got on Asbo and Woolworths.
I booked to go on Flybe, and then they went bust, and then the whole world can thank me because I booked on train, and then COVID happened. So
there's signs, and then there's signs. It's like Dan West is not allowed to Edinburgh.
Yeah, there's something bad that's going to happen. The end of the fucking world if I actually go.
It's a cool place, though.
It is wicked.
It's very.
Don't rub it in.
It's quite.
It's like
it's old.
It's like a bigger, posher Bath.
It's like
reminds me of Bath in some ways.
Yeah, it's way cooler than Bath.
Yeah,
it's like like I say, there's a lot of cool rock bars there, and they got that Frankenstein's thing, and we went in the surgeon's hall, which is weird, and it's just like 5 floors of just body parts in jars.
Oh, I should have got. Our hotel was literally like next door to that place. Should have gone in.
It's great. No, it's great for about half hour, but once you've seen a cock in pickle being pickled for like 5 floors, I ain't gonna lie, I've had enough. And it was all like a lot of weird stuff. Like it was like things where like body parts of disease and stuff like that. So they like cut off a foot and things like that and bunged it in a jar. Everything was in jars.
I can't lie, like that seems a bit of me though. I would love to look around there.
Do you know?
I thought you were going, that's a bit of me. I've got a diseased foot. I'm going to stick that in a jar. I like to stick it in a jar every Friday.
Yeah, I went there because my sister recommended it to me, and she went up there with her husband and Tony Mange, who's guitar tech for us, and he's done the intro voiceover thing for Rebel Yell. If you don't know Tony Mange, that's him. They went there with him, and he was proper hungover, and he said he couldn't walk around. It just made him feel sick.
I couldn't walk around when I went because I put my back out.
That's because you're old.
Yeah. I was limping the whole weekend.
What a fanny. Right, Daniel.
Right, so this has been a fantastic introduction to what we're going to be doing. Also, I'm Dan, that's Ricky, that's Scott. We
Hello.
play in a band called Red Hot Riot. So, intro's done. Did you want to grill me or something?
Yeah, what are you fucking
Yeah, I'm going to put
thinking,
you in a
Dan?
jar and send you to Edinburgh.
Don't do that, mate. I swear to God, the world will end.
There's
if I
not
go
a
to
jar big
Edinburgh.
enough for his,
No,
for his
just-
cock.
No, right. Yeah, well, no, I got some,
pussy.
Hey, oh, Stoney. He's such a cool
He's
dude.
always here.
Dan, you're back in the band after what was it, 12 months out?
Yeah, it's about a
Something
year
like
in
that.
the end. Yeah.
Something like that. Nice to have you back.
Good to be
I
back.
mean, did you miss it at all? Are you like, what's the feeling? Obviously, we've done one gig in Bristol since you've come back.
Yeah. No, I did miss it. There was so many good times. We went out on a high in Sweden, and the year when things kicked off after COVID, it was mega. We did so much cool stuff. But I needed some time away, and I thought, it's not going to work with what I had planned for life. And well,
He was pickling stuff in jars in Edinburgh. Took too much time.
There's
are
a
you
flesh-coloured cucumber.
obsessed with the pickle because you're Pickle Rick?
I'm sure, do you know what? I'm a little bit cold, and I got a pickle Rick hoodie as well. I might bang it on in a minute
You should see your
for
Pickle
the
Rick.
people viewing it on YouTube. Sorry, carry on. I was going to say, did it feel the right time to come? Well, obviously it did because of how things happened. It must have felt the right sort of time to come back to it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I need drumming in my life, 100%. And I love playing live music, and I love playing with you guys in the band. And you needed a website, so
That's what it was riding on for me personally. I was
It
like,
needed a podcast.
no, it was really good to have the chat and for it to work out like this. I know that it was a really, really busy year, and honestly, yeah, I couldn't have done the year that was there that you guys did. It looked incredible with the Delta Bombers. But yeah, if the schedule had stayed as intense as when I was in the band before, I don't think I could have done. But times change and things move on, and we're focusing on bigger, better gigs, and it becomes a little bit more manageable. So yeah.
So does it feel different now then to what it did the first time round? Because like the first time round, you didn't plan on joining the band, and this time round you didn't really plan on it either. But here we are.
so you've had your arm
I
dead
didn't plan on
twice.
staying in a band with Scott for this long, so it is what it is.
It felt exactly the same. We got on stage. Scott had technical difficulties.
I don't think I had too many technical difficulties in Bristol.
Just difficulties.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've only done the one gig. And then there's been the whole Christmas break and stuff. And I think the way that things are running now just feels more manageable. So it feels exciting. It feels like we can do a little bit more creative stuff as well.
Does it feel different, like behind the scenes? Because obviously 2022 is the manic year. So does it feel different behind the scenes? Because obviously, like at that time, there was a lot of pressure with like we're sorting flights and we're sorting accommodation for stuff, and there was a lot of like but do you know what I mean? Though, because there was like a lot of strain on the band to
No, I'll be real with
get
you.
everything right. Whereas now it's like a lot more. I mean, we're still busy, like we're still gigging and stuff, but to me, I would say we're way more prepared with stuff now. Whereas the first time round, we were like, "What the fuck are we doing?"
I think that I was sort of clinging on to everything going on last time. Not to get too deep into it, but I had a lot of other shit going on in life and a lot of things that I was dealing with, and I wasn't really dealing with very well and very prepared for. And the band was super busy behind the scenes. Like we were always doing stuff.
was
I was either
mad.
working or trying to get to the gym and training or doing the band, and it was just non-stop go, and it wasn't giving me enough time to really think. Now behind the scenes it feels a little bit more, there's more of a creative process, there's more time for us to think about what's coming up. The new album I think is going to be sick. I think, you know, when I first joined, we were doing Forget Me Not Forget Me Not.
Forgot what it was called. Yeah, we was doing Forget Me Not when you joined. Yeah. Well, no, not when you joined. No, but like that was the first release with you on.
We got the record deal, and then COVID hit, right?
Oh yeah. So we probably were working on it at that point.
Yeah,
and we just couldn't. Yeah. Because we started doing it like at the back of Scott's house and stuff, didn't we?
Mm.
Exactly. So although it was a fucked up time, the band was able to be really creative. We had all the time to rehearse in back gardens and to really look at the creative process, compose, and then that switched after that to really focusing on the gigging and the non-stop sort of exposure in that way. And I feel like coming back now, we've kind of hit a middle ground. We're getting out there. There's some amazing gigs planned, but we're also giving ourselves enough time to be creative and to. I think this time I'm feeling that being a part of the creative process again. Whereas before, because it was so busy with the band and so busy in other areas of the life that was literally your domain, Ricky, wasn't it? It was like, I've got these songs, let's just stick something to it.
Pretty much.
We
didn't have time though, did we?
No, really? Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And this time it feels like you can give us a song, we can maybe try some stuff out with it, we can merge it a little bit, and we're able to do everything now. So yeah, no, it feels.
You will. you will work out your parts, Scott. And how are you feeling about your creative process at the moment, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, my solo project's coming on well, thanks. Yeah, got a double album coming out next month.
Have you put any bass lines down to demos or anything?
Yeah, no.
No, you haven't.
That's a great answer.
Hey, mate, it's not my interview. This isn't about me.
Yeah, take it off you.
It's about all of us, mate.
But I'd like to know, Dan. Obviously, Rick mentioned earlier that he's got a new pair of slippers come through the post today. Would you say coming back to the band's like fitting into a pair of old slippers?
No, I've got these. These are quite nice as well, you know. I like these.
Mine are similar.
Are they? Let's see your slippers. Everyone wants to see your slippers.
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, but if they're going to be on Spotify, no one can see it.
I'm 28. I don't wear slippers.
Look at them.
They're nice.
Those are the oldest man pair of slippers I've ever seen.
Comfy though.
I had an amazing segue, and you just got distracted. My question was rejoining Red Hot Riot like slipping into an old pair of slippers?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we just got back into a room, started playing together, and it was just like, yep, bang, tight.
You didn't have the stress of having to learn the songs from afresh, you know?
No, but I think we were so well rehearsed from before. Like, the only thing I can compare it to is when I went back to play with my brother after years apart, but we had grown up playing together, and because you're so well rehearsed and because you know all these songs inside out, you just sort of, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, you just slot back in. You just go, yeah, I remember this. Even if something you weren't sure of, the song starts and it's muscle memory. It was really good. It was really fun to be playing live again.
Coming back into the band, do you feel like you're going to like approach it in an evolved sort of way?
I do think I'm going to approach it differently. In the time away to try and keep drumming in my life, I started doing a couple of things which I do enjoy, and that involves learning new licks, learning new rudiments, just evolving myself as a drummer. Also, getting really nice gear, which just makes it a little...
Actually, that's true, because you've just got another endorsement, right?
Yeah, from Porter and Davies. So now my butt vibrates when I hit the kick drum.
Dan's got a vibrating butt plug for when he plays.
It's basically what it is, right? It's like a stool. It's like it vibrates when you hit the kick.
It's like surround sound for your butt.
Yeah. So when you go to a gig or you go to a festival, right? And the music's playing or the drummer hits the kick drum and you hear that vibrate, you feel the vibration in you. When you get onto those big stages in a band, not many people will know, but it sounds average at best most of the time, right? And it's not loud and you don't feel that. And one of the things as a kid is you want to get up on those big stages, and as you hit the kick drum, you wanted to feel it. So it's like a tactile monitor. It's not like your phone vibrating on your ass. It's like it sends the vibration through your spine, and it ends up giving you this sense of feel of everything going on.
Sounds like a pain in the ass, Dan.
Seems like a pleasure in the ass.
Well, it's both if you turn it up too high.
Yeah, so how high is too high?
Dan's
What's the best on stage for you before you got your little in-ear monitors?
Yeah, well, I wear in-ears, don't I? So,
I love how you had to do that, but like explaining exactly what they are.
I love doing that.
Good on stage sound. Probably, I think Lakefest was pretty good.
Yeah. It was actually.
All right. Sorry, Scott. Scott wasn't there. Different story. Go and watch our Lakefest vlog. And Dan wasn't in that one. But we explained why Scott wasn't there. No. Yes, you played it when we did the vlog, but you didn't. The time me and Dan did. What's your favorite gig? My favorite was the one straight away after you left.
My favorite one was Sweden because it's when I left. I knew I wouldn't have to do it again.
Here we are.
It's hard because different ones have different reasons why they're great. I think the ship in Solver is always one that stands out to me because of the story of it. It felt like you turned up with a man and his dog at the bar, and it's like, I hadn't done that gig before. You guys said that it's going to be great in here. And I was like, right. And you walk into this little pub, it's man and dog at the bar, set up your kit. By the time you're set up, the place is rammed. Like, Scott, you had your wireless double bass and you were doing like going through the crowd and going around in a circle because you could get around the bar and round the back and come back round and stuff like that again.
Yeah.
And then it's a wild gig in the Pembrokeshire coast. And then by the time you finish packing down after the gig, it's just the same man and his dog at the bar, and everyone else has gone, and they've all just come.
It's like
everyone's just gone for the band. Everyone's gone for the band, right? Which
is
great.
And they're dancing and they're cheering and they're just having such it was such a good vibe.
That's a good show. I wouldn't have thought of that because, I mean, you ask that question, you immediately think of the big ones, don't you?
Shout Riverside Rockabilly.
Yeah, that's a very, very good. Yeah, I mean, the Riverside Rockabillys, they alternate in force for that, don't they? So,
but you're right. You know, there are lots of the big ones as well. Glasgow is a massive highlight. I've always wanted to go to Glasgow, and the first time going to Glastonbury, being able to play, it's insane. Being able to play Vegas, amazing. Spain, Austria, Sweden, amazing big ones. Billy bootleggers, even in Newcastle, though, those little dives where it's just rammed and people are dancing, they're fun. They're just adventures. Those ones where they're real adventures and they're stories.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. What about you, Scott?
Yeah, well, luckily Dan's taken all my answers, which is really kind of him.
So that's good. Should we move on then?
Yeah, on we go. Yeah, no, I was going to say Dan was right because, like, your best gig, there's so many different, like, criteria that fit within that. It's kind of like gigs that you personally feel you played the best at and like performed the best at, and then there was like the vibe and the environment, and then it's kind of like the level like of gig, like you've highlighted your Glastonbury's and stuff, because we've got gigs like in Bristol that we've played and like our hometown, so to speak, and they've got like an amazing vibe to it and feeling, and then you go play as like the furthest away country that we played in, like Vegas, and it's kind of like a small drop in a massive ocean, and
Vegas isn't a country.
The location that we played in, right? That's like the furthest we've played away from being at home.
Idiot.
And yeah, it's crazy.
What about you, Ricky? We can't just do us two.
It is very hard. It's very, very hard because you know whatever you answer, you're going to be like in 20 minutes, whatever. You go, oh shit, I forgot about that one. I mean, possibly the first time we sold out Frog and Fiddle, that was pretty good.
That was pretty cool.
I think I'm gonna base it off literally the sheer sort of like, fuck yeah, we did that feeling, and like the adrenaline and everything you get when you come off. Probably either Vegas, maybe Red Rooster.
Oh, that was cool.
I have such a love-hate relationship with that gig.
Well, yeah, because your bridge fell out
twice.
But I
got molested. But you know,
pros and cons. We'll brush over that.
I don't remember that.
Do you not remember when I turned up and I had my t-shirt off and some woman just came behind me and started like?
No.
Oh, that's because it was me and Lewis that were there. You were with Scott.
I was pretty hammered that weekend.
I think I was there, Dan. I think it was by the golf buggies.
It was. So it was me and you in the buggy, was it?
Yeah, it was me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
I mean, that was absurd.
So I drove, not for that reason. I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's made it better knowing that. I like to think because you would have felt really awkward about it and hated it. So I think that's great.
Isn't it such a funny thing? Because like we're speaking about like how busy we were in 2022 and we were gigging like pretty much every weekend. I don't think we truly got to enjoy that feeling of playing a gig in the moment because we were always worrying like when's the practice, when's the next gig. But now like 2 years on, we're like get to actually have the opportunity to reminisce and enjoy like those times.
I think with like doing the tour with the Dart Bombers helped us to understand that touring in blocks is better than just 24/7 gigging. Well, I know they do it, but they're at a way higher level than us, and they can go and tour pretty much constantly anywhere they want, and they're going to pull people out, whereas we're not at that level yet. But it has helped us to learn that. But I wasn't including the Delta Bomber gigs in my favourite gigs, because if I was, then I would probably throw in when we played in Hamburg, Scott.
Yeah, well, exactly.
That was really good.
We played, not to rub it in, but we did play a handful of really, really top shows on that tour.
More than a handful, mate. It was a banging tour.
It looked incredible. I'm not going to lie. There looked like there was some insane dates and some amazing crowds and just, such a vibe.
There's a lot of factors that come into it, right? So like we were saying earlier about it has to have good sound. But the crowd have to be up for it as well. You can play the same venue to the same crowd twice and it'd be completely different both times if you've got a different sound engineer or if the crowd aren't up for it as much on a certain day. Like it does all come into it, and like it's that old age thing of you feed off the audience, like you totally do.
Yeah.
If you're giving it the beans on stage and the audience has just stood there, you can only give it the beans for so long before you go. I mean, you carry on doing it, but
but you don't mean it.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
That's what you're saying.
It's a good way of putting it, but it isn't quite that, is it? It's like you do it, but it's like
you start to play a character.
When you give that energy out and it's just being absorbed, you're just giving that energy out and you're losing that energy rather than it coming back. Like when they give it back to you, you've got you drop that energy when you come off stage and it's the big adrenaline drop. When you've just been giving it out for the whole gig, you're already dropped. You haven't got that high as much. That makes sense. Can I just do one thing before we move on? Just to clarify, when I was molested at Red Rooster, it was only someone stroking my nipples and there wasn't anything that needs to be reported to the police. Cool. We can move on now.
What are you listening to now, Dan?
All right, so I thought that you might ask me some music stuff, and then for about 15-20 minutes I sort of was just writing down bands and stuff earlier because my mind is a scatterbrain. Like you put me on the spot and ask for bands and stuff, and I'm like,
you and Scott have a very similar mind, but yours is more like it's crazy, but there's an idea there. Scott's is just like spaghetti.
That's not very fair. I have great ideas.
I like spaghetti.
I suffer from ADD. I think I'm going to diagnose myself with ADD.
ADD?
Me too.
Isn't it ADHD?
No.
It could be ADD or without the H as well. I'm going through the process of diagnosis for that now as well. Fun fact.
Scott's got no, he ain't got that. I'll tell you what he's got, but I can't say it on here.
This podcast isn't about me. It's about me next week.
Sorry, Dan.
No, it's fine. It's fine. When I listen to music, it's such a massive range. It's so different. And just to give you an example, I went through and just in about 20 minutes, I wrote down shitloads of bands. And I will get on to
Red Hot Riot. You can fuck off.
No, it's not in there. I got things from Frightened Rabbit, Death Cab for Cutie, Dave Matthews Band, Aerosmith, Explosions in the Sky, Sigur Rós, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Sam Cooke, George Ezra, Olivia Rodrigo, a bit of pop stuff with Dua Lipa and stuff. You got Blink and Rancid because Travis Barker is a fucking G. There's a new thing came out called Headache, which is really odd lyrics. It's fucking cool. Justice, Baker, Matt, Ren, Eminem and Dre back in the day. Sublime, Smash Mouth, like bluesy stuff like John Mayer and Bonamassa. Even like the weirder sort of stuff with Jacob Collier. I call it weird because he likes to play around with the chord sequences and stuff like that. The National, If I'm Depressed, Prodigy, If I'm Hyped Up, back in the day, Queens of the Stone Age, System of a Down, like really old stuff like Etta James, Amy Winehouse. I don't fucking know. Do you know? I'm going from fucking Ray Charles to Prodigy, and
I think you forgot like that really one small subgenre after going through everything else. No,
which one have I forgotten?
You've named absolutely everything. I think you've covered all bases, Dan.
Well, I didn't realise you liked Aerosmith.
Oh, really? Oh, Aerosmith! I saw them in Hyde Park back in the day. They were these amazing. Steven Tyler's vocals is out of this fucking world.
Have you heard? Do you know Miles Kennedy?
Yeah,
he sings. Have you heard that conspiracy that he's Steven Tyler's son?
No, I haven't heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised because Steven Tyler got around. I think. Well, he could have got around. He was
at Red Rooster, wasn't he? Last couple of years ago when you were there, Dan.
What was that?
He was at Red Rooster, wasn't he?
Miles Kennedy.
No, Steven Tyler. He got around. Don't worry. It's about you getting molested again. It's fine.
Yeah, that was a tenuous link.
Did you know? Here's a fun bit of information for you. You know Steve Carell from like The Office and other blockbuster movies. He's
name them for me.
He's actually Alice Cooper.
What?
Honestly, after this, search online Steve Carell and Alice Cooper. He is the same person.
No, he's not. Steve Carell's like what, in his 50s? Alice Cooper's like nearly 80.
No, honestly, we'll drop some photo side by side comparisons in here, and
I ain't having that.
You'll have to eat your hat when you find out that I'm correct. I was just branching off when we was talking about your eclectic genre tastes, Dan. I was going to give you. I was just interested to know, obviously, with music can be used, when you're in different sort of moods and energy levels. I was going to give you 3 sort of emotions, and from your music taste, you have to answer like the first artist that comes to your head.
Okay.
All right. So when you're at the gym, what's pumping you up to get that last set in?
What's it called? It's not Becky Hill Disconnect's kind of sick, to be fair. But there is. I hate being put on the spot. My mind doesn't work. Can I look it up?
No.
Much later.
I would have never got the artist right. But the song's called "Messy in Heaven."
I'm not familiar. Tell me about it.
It's a little messy in heaven. It's a little messy in heaven. Venby and Goddard. Check it out on Spotify after listening to us.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. That's Jim.
So I'll do 2. I'll do 3. I'll do 3. So that's the first one.
Or Baker Matt. Baker Matt's cool as well. Anyway.
Second one. Then so sort of late night when you're just wanting to wind down for the night, but it's got to get the right feeling. Sort of wind down. and heading to bed.
Oh, I like
I used to
that.
listen
I want to give my
to.
answers.
I used to listen to some wicked bands when I was going to. As a kid, I used to go to sleep to music, and it was how I wound down. I put my hi-fi on a timer. The most recent band I remember doing that with is a band called Explosions in the Sky. It's instrumental. It's kind of epic, kind of sounding, and there's a specific album that I can't remember the name of, but that would be like a real, like, sort of calm one, or maybe one of the Sigur Rós stuff, things like that.
Don't know.
Yeah, it's cool. Sigur Rós, fun fact: none of their words are actually words. It's not. I think people think it's Icelandic, but it's not. It's just made up words.
Like
Anyway.
like Simlish, or whatever it's called, Simlish.
Yeah.
Like the Minions.
And then third and finally, Dan.
I like listening to the Minions when I go to sleep.
Third and finally for you, when you've had an absolute shit day and everything's gone wrong and you're absolutely raging and fuming, what's like one band that like matches your energy and kind of lets that anger out?
Robbie Williams.
Yeah. Spice
Bangers
Girls.
there. Bangers.
Yeah.
Do you prefer
Avril Lavigne?
Do you prefer an artist that kind of matches that energy and like kind of gets the anger out, or do you prefer
No, I'm
music
exhausted.
that sort of takes you down, like and like mellows you out?
Do you know the funniest thing? I don't know what I need. Most of the time I'm exhausted. If I'm really angry and worked up, I'm exhausted, and having more high energy music's the only thing, like Prodigy or something like that is only gonna like, or Justice or something like that. You know, they're big pumping sort of tracks, but you've already used up all your energy and it drains you even more. I think I would tend to go a little bit more soft to try and calm down, even Ellie Goulding or something like that. You know, just I don't know. Yeah, I tell you what I tend to do is I
Mitski.
on shuffle and then I keep clicking next until I like the vibe of something, and then I go to the Spotify songs like this, and I let it start selecting things until I'm sick of that sort of genre, and then I go back to liked until I find something that I'm hitting the spot and do the same again.
Can I throw a bonus question in really quickly? What music makes you want to drive faster when you're listening in the car?
I don't speed. That'd be absurd. I don't know.
What makes you want to drive
odds
fast?
Odds on for him to say Prodigy for the third time.
No, nothing makes me want to drive faster. Genuinely, I used to have that frame of mind, but I don't do it now. What makes me want to drive
faster?
Story about Dan. No, what makes me want to drive What makes me want to drive faster is if Sandy has the shits and really needs to.
My sister, there she is. Look.
No.
All right.
So I got a funny story about Dan. So my sister was walking through Lydney. She was like, "Oh, there was She said I was walking through Lydney the other day, and I heard like a car going by with like ridiculously loud music, like absolutely powering out." And she said I turned around, and it was when Dan had his Audi. She said, and I saw it was an Audi as well, and she just thought, "Oh, it's one of them usual dickheads." And then it got closer, and it was Daniel driving it, and I was like, "That's brilliant."
You got called out.
That hypocrite has an Audi as well, by the way.
Yeah, she does. She has got an Audi as well. But she doesn't blast her music. But then again, I blast my everyone. Well, not everyone. A lot of people do. But like, it was just funny how she was like, "Oh, it's one of those usual blokes blasting his music out." What a cock! No, Daniel West.
Do you know, if music's hitting the spot, pump it out. I love the sound system in that car.
It will do with your new stool, won't it? Your bass stool.
Get one of those fitted to your car.
At the spot.
No, I tell you what. There's one gig I'm really happy I didn't have that stool, and that was Lakefest as well. And we all know why. Except for Scott, because you weren't there.
Shitting yourself,
Dodgy cuisine.
Yeah.
I've heard the story.
Dan said he might have to run off stage. All right, I got some quick fire, and then we'll wrap it up. Actually, I'll ask the question, and then Dan, you answer, and then Scott, you answer. All right?
Okay.
All right.
Favorite band?
Fucking hell. Frightened Rabbit.
For me, it's the Go-Getters.
Nice. Your least favorite band? or artist?
White Stripes.
That infuriates me.
A band that comes to mind for me is not necessarily I hate them. I just don't understand the hype. Is Wet Leg.
Yeah, I'm with you. 100% with you.
I can't see why people are
shit, mate.
so behind them.
I like Wet Leg.
But all they do is they'll play one B-Tech riff, right? And then they just talk about shagging.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. What's not to like?
Yeah, but
I don't understand
what's good about
that? Yeah, no, that's great.
It's awful. I'm with you, Scott.
For context, I've seen them live. I have seen them live, so I can say that.
Yeah, we all have. Glastonbury, right?
Yeah. And they played Chaise Long, and it was amazing.
Boring. Anyway, right.
I remember introducing you to Chaise Long in the car, and I remember your reaction, like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. For me? Yeah. It's because you were blasting out, and my sister were looking at us. Right. Football or rugby?
I'm not. They're both about the same for me. I don't give a shit. Okay, football.
He doesn't care about Wimbledon.
I do. I support Wimbledon. They're great, but I don't follow anything religiously. So football, but yeah, fine.
Plastic.
Cool.
Scott, talking of plastic.
Football for me all day long. Mad football supporter me.
It depends on the
food. Your favourite food?
Cheese.
Takeaway Indian for me.
Oh, very good.
Love a curry.
Good. Are you having a Dhansak?
Oh, mate, you know me.
Scott.
You're a man after my own heart.
With Peshwari naan.
Oh my God, Rick! He's got my order down to a T. That's put a smile on my face.
You're not allowed my sack though. What's on your face?
Dhansak on my face. Is that the name of this week's podcast? Dhansak on my face.
Maybe.
All right, two more. This is meant to be quick fire. You boys are long. All right. Your favourite UK city?
London.
Generic. Scott?
It's a cop out to say Bristol because it's like our local city. Maybe
no, it's not a cop out if that's your favourite
city I've been to. We talked about it earlier. I really like Edinburgh. I really like the feeling of Edinburgh.
Yeah, good shape. I would have thrown Liverpool in the hat as well. I really like going to Liverpool.
I don't mind Liverpool. It's just the Scousers I don't like.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's why they were
leaving that one in.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Last one. Your favourite European city?
And why?
Paris. The only one I can say is Paris because the other ones we haven't visited for long enough. We haven't actually really had a proper look around them. Do you know what I mean? On the tours and stuff. Barcelona used to be all right. I don't like it as much anymore. No. Valencia.
Good answer.
Scott?
I've been to a hell of a lot of cities as well. But I don't know really what my favourite is.
Quick fire. Just throw one out.
Berlin. I'll probably change my answer.
Really?
Yeah, I'll probably change my answer in 5 minutes. But
that's an interesting one.
I've been there a couple of times.
I didn't say Amsterdam.
Oh, I do like Amsterdam, actually.
Pretty good.
Oh, Amsterdam is nice.
Can I change my answer? Can I change? All right.
No, you said Berlin. Now you're going now.
Have you asked me my question?
Nope.
It's Amsterdam.
Nope. Right, let's wrap it up.
All right.
That concludes this week's podcast. Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed this week's podcast, be sure to follow us.
That's right. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tinder, Amazon Music,
Grindr.
We do have a band account on Tinder, just in case anyone's interested.
Do we?
Yeah.
Is that when Louis Barnett was in?
Yeah, I made sure we swapped all of his profile pictures out for band photos, and we don't get any likes, unfortunately. So, shame. So visit our website to check out tour dates as well, or sign up to our mailing list.
Go on. What's the link, Dan, for the Red Hot Riot website?
redhotriot.co.uk.
Thank you.
Yeah. Get involved with the podcast. We'll be sharing stuff. You can get involved. Come to our social medias pages. It's all on social media.
say we've just announced our UK tour as well. Tickets aren't out yet. We're just tying up what venues are going to do tickets and what aren't. But as Dan said, get on our website, redhotriot.co.uk, and it'll all be available soon. But the dates are up. So check it out. But that's the first podcast. First one done. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. As Scott said, it's going to try and do a weekly thing.
So we'll see you next Tuesday.
I did say that. We'll see you next
shit,
Tuesday.
we can't finish on see you next Tuesday, can we?
Hang on.
That's rude.
We're going to have a guest on the next one.
We are. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Are we
allowed to tell them who the guest is?
It's a special guest.
It's just about to. We're bringing in our old pal Louis Barnett back for the next podcast. So that'll be a good one because he is the king of vlog.
Thank you all for watching. This has been Dhansak on my face.
What?
Bye. Oh, it's been Down the Rabbit Hole podcast with Red Hot Riot.
Yeah.
Confetti. Nice.
Au revoir.
Bye.